Today I'm with Sara from the UAE, a federation of seven emirates. The country sits on the Arabian Peninsula. Geographically, I hear it's spectacular. Flat desert plains give way to the dramatic Hajar mountain range in the east, and a coastline spanning two bodies of water. So, female ridership in the UAE has grown significantly since 2020. And the UAE is the most developed women's moto community in the Arabian Gulf. And Sara is not only a rider, she's a leader and a community builder. And Sara today is representing three different nations for the 20th anniversary series of International Female Ride Day. Welcome, Sara.
Oh, thank you so much. It's quite exciting. And thank you for the great intro. Yes, I am an expat living in the United Arab Emirates, originally from Egypt, but everything you mentioned is absolutely right. Hopefully, everybody gets to see us and hear us today, get to visit the UAE sometime soon. And, even driving in the UAE has a different feel altogether. So, just like how it is in Canada and everywhere else in the world. So, hopefully, we all get to exchange the different, riding experience across the whole world.
Thank you. I cannot wait to come visit you and ride with you ladies out there. But let's go back to the beginning, Sara. How did you start riding? When?
Ooh, that's a great question. You see the white hair, but it all goes back to the family. So my father and both of my uncles, they are the ones that got it in our veins. So we are following their hobby. So ever since we were 8, or as long as I remember, they taught us from the 50cc all the way until we managed to get the license. My sister and I were the first in Egypt to get the license amongst the first 5 in the Arab Republic of Egypt. That's where I'm from. I'm currently living in the UAE for the past God knows how many years. I stopped counting, So yeah, and that's how the hobby started to evolve. And as we started to grow, we started to travel by bike. Just to experience, the greatness of the different cultures across the world. Between, not to forget a certain country because all countries have a different charm. And yeah, and then we started to develop further our skill set, and then that's how we are today.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So, what was your first bike then? I guess at 8 you had a 50cc, but when you're an adult, what was your first? This is my bike.
So that was a Honda Magna, and it was such a gorgeous bike, very powerful, and yet you know elegant, and at the same time traveled different cities in Egypt, and then continued to ride a Honda, and then a Harley Davidson, and then different types of Harley Davidson, and then fell in love with the BMW, and but every bike has a special part in my heart. I know it's quite erratic, but somehow every bike has its aerodynamics that are different, and then one is good for traveling, and another is for the city. So then you end up, not just focusing on a specific type of bike, so you have better flexibility in riding more and more types of bikes.
Awesome. And so, what is your ride right now? What do you ride most nowadays?
Currently in the UAE, I'm riding a BMW GS 1250. That's the current ride.
Awesome. And are you mostly street or have you tried off road as well?
Tried off-road, but it's mainly street, but need to work on all other types as well, trying a track on a sports bike. So that's in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's cool. And it'll make you a better rider, I feel, doing all different types of bikes and different terrain. So you said you're one of the first women to get your license. Was it unusual for women to ride motorcycles when you were younger to now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I told you, I'm Egyptian. So back in the days, it was quite, to have a female at the age of 17, 18 to start getting a license. So my sister and I, of course, with the blessings of our parents, gave us that empowerment. Ever since at that time, empowerment was starting to grow, but it wasn't as evolved, especially for such sports like riding a motorbike and being in a conservative country. So, and the mindset of the people, so it was something. at the time, we did manage, of course, my younger brother as well rides a bike and my other cousins. So we managed to go from Cairo, that's originally where I'm from, the capital, and then from city to city. And then as the years passed, it started to become more familiar. But at that time, we were from the top 5 that got the motorbike license.
Wow, that's you're a trailblazer. So tell me what riding is like in the UAE, because most of us here in North America or from the outside have no idea what it means to be a rider out there, or that honestly, that women could ride freely.
Yes, well, actually, the good thing is that it's a cosmopolitan country. So you get so many others that have the very same hobby. And then what really attracts us is the same hobby, and we're living in the same country. And then the roads, the infrastructure, the superstructure itself is in such a way that it's seamless. So you're enjoying a safe, terrain, and the view is spectacular. And of course, weather kicks in sometimes. So we just have to play around that, but nothing stops us. Once it's in your veins, it's in your veins. So you just have to, try to toggle around it in such a way that you make hail while the sun is shining. So no, it's great because even I had the opportunity to do the endurance ride, the 2,500 kilometers in 36 hours, and I did it here in the UAE. So it's there are so many parts that are worthwhile visiting, and it's different. You explore more when you're on a bike than by car. And so many people that are either Emirati or they've been living here for so many years, they haven't visited the same areas until they got a motorbike.
Okay, so you're talking about weather. How did you do that event? Was it off season? Do you have an on season riding season? You can ride all year round, or when is the best time to ride there?
Well, the best time is usually from October all the way till end of March, April. And then the season takes a different twist. Usually people don't stop. They just try to find different timing because as you know, in this part of the world, the temperature reaches 40, 42, 46 degrees centigrade. So it's quite, it's quite an ordeal. So that's why we usually ride like either late hours of the night or early hours so that by 7 a.m. we're at home over the weekend, or we start at like 8, 9, 10 p.m. all the way, until early hours so that we can catch the good weather and not stop riding.
So that's incredible. So what's your favorite time? Is it you like early mornings, or you were like riding at night?
Well, you see, it's different, but I think, of course, being an early bird, I prefer the morning because you get to see better. You feel the energy. But the motorbike gives us the energy at night. But still, morning is definitely my preferred. But I got used to riding any time of the day. Just tell me, let's go. Oh yeah, yeah, sure, without even thinking twice.
And do you wear all your gear even though it's so hot?
Uh, yes, I mean there are now the technology kicking in, so there are so many mesh jackets and vests that are actually they've got all the protective liners, but at the same time they're breathable. So it's definitely better than years ago where you just had to wear that thick jacket because technology was not the same as it is these days. So yes, we still wear the safety gear because you never know anything happens in a second. So you just need to make sure that you are securing yourself first.
That's right. Safety first, regardless of the weather. But so speaking of weather, is it true you get sandstorms out there?
Yes, but it depends on the time of the year. But sometimes we do, yes. But again, sometimes we have to shift routes depending on the weather, depending on the circumstances. But I think that's across the globe. Some, of course, get it not in a sandstorm; they get it in different forms. But yes, yeah, it happens here.
Here in Canada, we get snowstorms. I think I would rather have a sandstorm.
Well, the grass is greener on the other side. So those that get the sandstorm want the snowstorm and vice versa. So I think everybody's always looking at whatever they don't have.
That's true. That's true. So have you done Jebel Hafit?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Jabal Hafid is one of the 3 highest peaks in the United Arab Emirates. So Jabal Hafid, I'm currently in Abu Dhabi, the capital. And Jabal Hafid is not that far, and we usually wait for Jabal Hafid ride, so it's quite exciting. Same for Jabal Jis, which is in another emirate, Ras Al, which is towards the northern part, and there is a third one called Jabal Yebar, and usually we do like an endurance where we do the top three peaks in the UAE in a specific timeline, and this is just something that is a teaser for the group, and everybody waits for it. We usually do it in December so that we can guarantee great weather. We go early hours of the day, and we try to do the whole three peaks in less than 10 hours, including the pit stops, including our breaks and everything.
That's incredible. That's what I'm gonna do when I come visit you.
Oh,
Uh,
please.
how did you find your writing community?
Well, I keep saying it's a big community and yet small, because somehow someone gets to know someone. So even though it's quite a diverse and large community, but because we all meet on the road, and sometimes there are very common stops that every rider gets to visit and stop at. So ultimately, oh, do you know that person? Oh, yes, yes, I just met them last. Oh, so you end, although they're like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, but yet, it's a huddled community at the same time.
So what communities, what groups are you with or know of in the UAE?
Well, the list is endless, but I'm
For
with a
female.
motorcycle registered club called Hoax that started 10 years ago. And through Hoax, of course, because again, there are so many events for the motorists in general. So we all get to meet there. So then we get to meet the rest of the motorcycle clubs, the rest of the groups, the rest of the community of bikers. And it's just great. There are like 4 or 5 annual events where all bikers get to meet, and we ride in a form of a parade, regardless of, which affiliation of club or association or group we're with.
And do you mostly ride with women?
Well, yes and no. Yes, I definitely ride with both. But of course, because of the movement and the empowerment, so we do have a community that is exclusively for female bikers that are living in the United Arab Emirates. But besides that, the group and the motorcycle club I'm currently affiliated to, we have a ground base of female bikers. Besides, of course, the gentlemen.
Okay, so let's talk about International Female Ride Day. Which three nations are you representing today?
Ooh, well, today on behalf of the GCC, the Middle East, and the Levant region, because this part of the world has loads and loads of female bikers with great inspiring stories. And especially, as I was telling you earlier, that it wasn't very common for females to have such empowerment and to ride a motorbike and to travel with it. So, yes, so today, on behalf of GCC, Middle East, and Levant region, I'm humbly representing the female bikers.
How are you celebrating International Female Ride Day this year?
This year is a very special year because it's the 20th edition. And in light of the current circumstances, so we had to take a little bit of a toll, so we're doing it in the evening. We're doing it as a casual ride. And since May as well is the month of safety for the motorbike, so we're going to be combining the International Female Ride 20th edition, which is very special to everybody in the whole wide world. And at the same time, we'll do a bit of activities related to safety, of course, for the females, so that they get a little bit of savviness when it comes to the mechanical refreshment and some other, interesting encounterments of sometimes we get in situations. So we'll be doing that. And of course, the cherry on top is that we're going to be jumping on a Zoom call with the rest of the Middle East, GCC, Levant female bikers. So we have 10 countries. We're going to be having, so we're hosting the Zoom call, and we're going to be having, without any particular order, we're going to be having the female bikers from Saudi Arabia and 3 cities in Saudi Arabia: Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Algeria. So that's this year the cherry on top. So that in the evening we will all be, of course, every country will have its own ride, whether it be in the morning or the evening. And then we will all jump on a Zoom call late evening on Saturday, 2nd of May.
Wow, that's incredible. And did you help organize all that?
Yes, along with so many other ladies, it takes two to tango. So we have a great support system. All the ladies in the GCC, Middle East, Levant, we have a WhatsApp community chat that has the key stakeholders. And then in their own groups and teams, they have another set of female that are on fire to get, to spread the empowerment across the board.
And so what language do you must speak multiple languages.
Yes, but of course, I mean, we have so many nationalities. So here in the United Arab Emirates, we have around 250 plus female bikers, and they are from around 40, 43 nationalities. So English is the common language.
What other languages do you speak, may I ask?
Personally, so Arabic is my mother tongue, French, German is a bit rusty,
Uh-huh.
and that's pretty much about that. And English, of course.
Incredible. I just speak barely English. That's it.
Well, that's great. That's great.
Okay, so let's do your message to Vicky.
Hi, Vicky. I'm Sara Barakat, and today this is a great shout out to you to everything that you've been doing for the past 20 years for International Female Ride Day, and to be honest, for all the female bikers in the whole world. The movement itself, the empowerment, the message, the inspiration that you spread, it just means a lot. And hopefully, as the years, pass, others continue that very great legacy that you have passed on to all of us. And today I'm also representing the GCC region, the Middle East region, and Levant, because I think, Ali, thank you very much for putting all that together. It becomes a little bit difficult to get everybody on a call with time difference as well. So this is just a great shout out. We're going to be looking forward to seeing you all in the region whenever things start to settle. But in my mother tongue, شكرا جزيلا فيكي. احنا ممنونين جدا جدا على كل مجهوداتك على الانترناشونال فيميل رايت داي. فشكرا، احنا ممتنين.
Thank you so much. So what does International Female Ride Day mean to you? What is it like riding with 200 women or, celebrating with all these women?
I think it's great because every female has a story, and every female managed to overcome something within her, and nothing is stopping her, and at the same time it's a driving force because everybody gets to inspire. And the great thing is that we all come from different backgrounds, different bringing, different educational level. It All this doesn't matter. What really matters is that we all decided to be on two wheels, and different types of two wheels. Some of them are on a naked bike, some are on a Vespa, some are in a sports bike, some adventure, some touring, some, so this is the glory of it, is that we get to learn better about ourselves, about others, different cultures, different behaviors, different ways, but the interest is the same. And the excitement that everybody has, and the push, the drive that everybody gets to, cascade is just unbelievable. And the advancements in itself, and the fact that everybody wants to spread the empowerment in such a genuine way that we don't feel it, but we get to embrace it, so that's what it really means. And I have to give a shout out to so many ladies. I mean, here in the United Arab Emirates, we had Coco, Caroline, she's German, and she's the first to actually have the International Female Ride Day in the United Arab Emirates. And then we all continued after her, and there are so many others. I don't want to miss names because it gets bugging, but we need to give a shout out to everyone, those that participate, those that can't, but they actually post something about it, those that introduce us to others, those that get to give the vibes, and ultimately we all wait for the International Female Ride Day from year to year just to spread how it is. And over here as well in the United Arab Emirates, we do a parade where we have the police on board, we have the civil defense, we have the motorsports organization with us, we have so many collaborators, so many agencies, so many sponsors, everybody believes in it. And then we can't just have one ride a year. And because of that success, because of the cause that Vicky had cascaded, we do other rides across the year to keep up that momentum.
That's wonderful. You're an amazing speaker. So I just want to go somewhere a little bit deeper because you had mentioned, motorcycle riding is not just a hobby for some women, it's something that holds us. So has motorcycle riding ever helped you through a struggle or a hard chapter in your life?
I think it has always been an icebreaker for our day to day, whether it be family related, work related, macro related, but ultimately just going on the bike, whether you are riding on your own, riding amongst others or within a group or whatever it is, it just gets you to have a breather. It gives you, you get to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It gives you energy. It gives you hope. It gives you a rush, adrenaline kind of rush in different ways. And even if you didn't know that it was therapeutic for you, well, it is therapeutic, but you get to know it later. And sometimes people get that hobby at a late phase. A couple of years ago, I went on a Europe tour, and we had a great seasoned biker that decided to learn at the age of 60. And when we went to Europe tour, he was celebrating his 73rd birthday. So, there's no age limit. The sky is always the limit, and the great expansion the motorbike gives you is above and beyond words can express.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, speaking of age, I believe the average age for a woman to take up riding is her late 40s, early 50s. I think that's because we take care of everybody else except ourselves, and then we want to do something for ourselves. So, what do you do to stay fit and strong so that you can continue riding? How do you take care of yourself physically?
Well, I think the interesting thing is when you choose a bike, sometimes you choose a bike so that if you're short, like how I am, for example, you want to make sure that both of your feet are touching the ground as and when. And you forget how heavy or light the bike is. And then as you start, doing more miles and eating more miles, so you decide that you need to get more of a bigger bike, and then you realize my physique has to be compatible to the bike. Uh, so then accordingly, the gym comes in, and then you get to see other bikers as well in the gym, and then you look, it's important. So definitely keeping up nutrition and sports. Sometimes we're a bit inconsistent, but personally, I try to maintain as much as possible. Usually it's in the morning. Before the whole day kicks in, because you don't control the day, but you control the start of the day, but not end of the day. So it's mainly workout. It's mainly sometimes the very next day. So this in itself is also a hobby that got us to another sport, which became a hobby, and the cycle continues.
Awesome. Yes. It's something I feel that a lot of women don't talk about, staying strong and healthy. And I believe health is wealth. And the stronger you are, the longer you can ride. Thanks for sharing
Yes.
that. Okay. So, what
Yeah.
else do you want the world to know about the women riders in UAE?
Well, they are very courageous. They are very charismatic. They are extremely successful. Most of the female bikers are already mothers of two, four, six. They're also quite successful in their careers. They have all managed to overcome, the fear of what will people say if I'm starting right now something new. What if? What if? What if? So I think it's quite inspiring when we get to see a female biker that is about to open or start the process of the licensing process. And then all other ladies are giving her the tips, hints, tricks of what to do, what not to do. Oh, avoid this. I just went through the very same process. A couple of months ago. And then, although people barely know each other, they end up bonding. And this is something great. I mean, just yesterday we had an activity for camping. So we are still the female bikers, but in another mode. We camping and grilling and having fun and chilling, and this in itself, you know, and this is also one of Vicky's philosophy about International Female Ride Day. You end up having friendship out of it. So no, I want to express to all the female bikers, not only the United Arab Emirates, but across, that you are unique and you inspire and you just, spread greatness and great vibes without even realizing.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I end every interview with it's a fir- first question that or first answer that comes to your mind. So, what song is playing when you ride your bike? Do you listen to music?
Usually I'm marshalling, so I don't listen to music.
Finish this sentence. The best thing about being a woman who rides is,
Inspiration.
do you prefer desert or mountain riding?
Difficult. Both.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Uh, if your motorcycle could talk, what would it say about you?
Um, Motivator.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was one of the
Thank
best,
you,
one
Ali.
of the best interviews. You did
Uh,
fantastic.
Thank you
Um,
so
I
much. Thank you, Ali.
I hope you have a good rest of your night. Ride safe,
Thank you
and
so much.
please
Yep.
stay in touch. I hope to come visit you maybe next year. Who knows?
Likewise. Thank you very much. Take good care. Bye bye, Ali.